What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're bringing you some updates from Storm Arena as well as Storm Collectibles. They are currently at EVO 2026 in partnership with Image Anime. Now, Image Anime teamed up with Storm to have a nice display at their booth, as well as the 3 exclusive figures that we covered in previous videos that they are having for sale there at the convention. Now, there are some new things that we want to talk about. We're also seeing some prototypes that we've seen before, so let's go ahead and take a closer look at some of this. Now, here is the Storm Arena display that's holding both Street Fighter Alpha as well as Darkstalkers, and we're seeing some stuff we have seen. Morgan and Lilith we've seen time and time again. Still no pre-order, so hopefully maybe this means we see a pre-order for both of these figures soon. We do see Zangief and Balrog, which we saw prototypes for them already, and these look to be about the same. I don't notice any updates on these. We also have Akuma sitting in the back, which we're expecting to release later this year. Now, we do have some updates to the prototype for our Mika and Chun-Li, but we'll talk about that here in just a minute. Now, first I want to talk about maybe one of the most exciting pieces of this display in the Storm Collectibles area. Storm Collectibles, they showed off their M. Bison. They showed off an updated prototype for their Street Fighter 6 Sagot. He's articulated, he's painted. You see he has these soft good shorts, and this thing is looking so cool. This is probably going to be the first Storm Collectibles figure I end up picking up, just because I'm a big Sagot fan. I really like the design for him in Street Fighter 6, and this is looking like it's going to be an awesome figure and representation of the Street Fighter 6 Sagot. So that's really exciting for me. Can't wait to grab that guy. And of course, we have a brand new reveal for their Storm Collectibles line, and that is the Street Fighter 2 Vega. Now, we did see some kind of, I don't know if you call it a leak, as Storm did announce this was coming in EVO Japan a few months back, and now we're seeing the prototype for the Street Fighter 2 Vega in their collectibles line. So this is not Storm Arena. This is their larger 7-inch scale, 1/10 scale figures, and it's looking really good. No paint on this guy, but we are seeing articulation, where the claw looks nice. Everything looks good. The sculpt on this is looking really, really great, so it will be exciting to see this as it moves along in prototype phase, and we'll probably see this figure end up releasing maybe end of the year, early next year, because I think Sagot is set to release by Q4 of this year, so we probably will see Vega like early Q1 of 2027. And we also have some updates to the female characters from Storm Arena's Street Fighter Alpha line. And we are seeing our Mika now articulated. We saw her previously in just grayscale prototype. So we're seeing her articulation, and it's looking really good. I like the sculpt and the shape of this figure. Nothing really to complain about here. I'm liking the articulation points. We're seeing she comes with the microphone accessory, so looking really good. Can't wait to see this one painted up. I'm sure it's going to look fantastic. So yeah, this Armika is looking really cool, and we also are seeing some updates to the Chun-Li figure. We know that Storm released it, had some feedback. They said they're going to fix Chun-Li. So here we are finally seeing a updated version of the Chun-Li, but unfortunately, it's looking like all they really changed is the size of the thighs. She obviously has thicker thighs, but it looks like they didn't really change much else. So in just adding in the thick thighs, the proportions and the shape is still looking pretty off. So I don't know, this is probably going to be the final form. I don't know if we see additional updates to this figure, as this was originally set to release in Q3 of this year, which is coming up here very quickly. I imagine this is probably going to be pushed back to a Q1 of 2027 release, and in my opinion, just still not quite there. The shape of the body is still just kind of odd, and I think that the addition of the thicker thighs is giving her even weirder shape and proportion. So I'm sure this will still be, a nice posable figure, premium finish, as Storm is known to do, but in my opinion, this one isn't quite hitting the mark yet. And we're also getting some Storm Arena King of Fighters updates. As you can see here, this is the best picture I could find early out of the EVO 2026 of the King of Fighters figures. So we're seeing the 3 original figures that were set to release this year, and I was trying to get a better look at those nameplates. As we saw when they showed this a couple months ago, they were still showing as pending approval. But if you look between Goro's legs there, it looks like they no longer say pending approval, at least on that one figure there. So that's good news. If you're still waiting for Wave 1 of King of Fighters, it's looking like these might have passed any sort of approval sort of hiccups that they were going through. And we should hopefully probably be seeing these released here fairly soon. It's probably going to sneak into early Q3. But hey, at least we know that these are most likely coming in the near future. And then we are also seeing a 4th character added to their King of Fighters roster up in the top left. I believe this guy's name is Iori Yagami. I'm not big into King of Fighters, but it is cool to see that these figures are starting to make some moves, and hopefully we see some of these released here very soon. And let's wrap it up with maybe their biggest reveals of the show, at least like in quantity. We are getting a bunch of new reveals for the Storm Arena Baky line, which is an interesting choice considering this is at EVO 2026. You think they would focus more on their fighting game properties like Street Fighter and Darkstalkers. I was kind of expecting to see some updates to the Darkstalkers prototypes of Felicia and Victor and all those other characters that we saw earlier this year. But they went really hard with the Baky line, it's looking like. So if you're a Baky fan, that's good news for you. But again, kind of weird as this isn't a fighting game and isn't there at EVO. But we are getting what looks like 4 new reveals for the Storm Arena Baky line. That's including Musashi, who's part of the brand new Baky Do license that they revealed earlier this year. And I, again, am not a big Baky fan, so excuse my ignorance when it comes to Baky properties, but we're also getting 3 other characters here. We're getting Retsu, Biscuit, and the character in the top right in the back there, I'm actually not sure who that is. But what's interesting is this Retsu and this Biscuit are looking like very far along prototypes. Like, these things are fully articulated, fully painted, looking like these could be close to a final product. So we might see both of these, if not both, at least one of these releasing probably by the end of the year. So I would expect to see a pre-order for these very, very soon, as they are looking like they're pretty far along in production. Now, I could be wrong about that. We might not see pre-orders for these until a little bit later in the year, and maybe these are looking like a early to mid 2027 release. But if you are a Baky fan, this is good news for you, as the Baky line had been somewhat stale. I know we just got the pre-order for Jack Hammer a few months ago, but a lot of people were kind of wondering what is next for the Baky line, and this is, a pretty good look into the future, as these figures will probably be releasing over the next year, into the middle of next year. We probably might see some of these in hand early Q1 of next year, but if you're a Baky fan, you should be excited for this. So yeah, that's pretty much it as far as new reveals coming out of Storm at EVO 2026. Like I said before, kind of an odd choice to have the biggest reveals for Baky here at EVO 2026, as it is not a fighting game property. I'm sure there's some crossover in fandom here, but I think it would have been probably better to focus more on the prototypes for Darkstalkers and new fighting game properties. And maybe it's just timing, maybe they didn't have those things ready for this show. So we're getting 4 new reveals for Baky. And yeah, that is going to wrap it up, guys. I want to thank you for spending some time with me here today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you're into news from the action figure fighting game world, in-depth reviews of Street Fighter and other fighting game related action figure properties. We do a lot of that here on the channel. We focus on Storm Arena quite a bit, so if you're a fan, be sure to subscribe to keep updated with the latest news. Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed this content, and hey, drop some hype points if you have some, as that helps a lot in getting these videos out into front of people that are fans of Storm Arena and Street Fighter. I'm on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and I'm just over 100 subscribers away. So if you're watching this and are not yet subscribed, feel free to subscribe, as we have a good time on this channel and would like to have you as a part of the community. So thank you for spending some time with me here today, and I'll catch you in the next one.